I'm excited to introduce you to the Green Hornet. This is a 1976 El Camino. It's got a 400 small block in it. It's got headers. It's got a carburetor. It's pretty well stock. Man, let me tell you the story about how I ended up with this thing. So I just moved out here to Pahrump, and man, I hadn't been able to drive for like a day or two, and I saw this car on the side of the road in somebody's driveway. And it just so happened that that's the route I take to get anywhere from my house. So I saw that car every day driving by, and there was a bunch of other cars in the driveway, but none of them looked like they ever moved. So I said to myself, all right, if I catch this person outside, I'm gonna stop and talk to him. I wanna stop and talk to him. So weeks go by, never see any motion at the house, no different cars there, nobody outside ever. I'm wondering if anybody even lives there. And then one afternoon I'm driving by there, and there's a Tesla in the driveway with all these other old broke down cars and stuff. So I see a guy getting out of the Tesla, and it doesn't match the surroundings at all. But the guy is wearing scrubs, and I see him get out, and I stop and talk to him. And he says, well, the guy that lives here, he's completely disabled, and he doesn't really get outside at all. I was like, okay, well, can you just pass my business card along to him and have him give me a call? I want to talk to him about the El Camino. So a couple hours later, the old guy calls me, and you can just tell that, you know, he ain't had no company in a while, hadn't had anybody to talk to in quite a while. And so I decided I would go down there and talk to him in person. So I hobbled my halfway working behind down there to go and meet the guy. He's a real old school guy from New Jersey, right? 75 years old, so he's got, you know, all the good stories to tell. So I sit and I listen to his stories for hours. I can always do that. And he goes to telling me that, you know, he doesn't have anybody in his life anymore. He doesn't have any kids, never had any kids. His family has all died off, and it's just him out here all by himself. So I told him, I was like, well, how about this? I will try and help you enjoy what's left of your life here. I'm gonna try and get you out of your house, take you out and ride on the side-by-side, you know, get out and do stuff, because he's been in the house for months and months by himself. And I told him, well, I'll do that for you, and what you can do for me is just give me this El Camino. So this is how I ended up with this El Camino and 5 other cars, and I honestly didn't even look at any of them before making the deal with the guy, even the El Camino, really. When I kept driving past it, I kept thinking to myself, man, it looks just like my 75 El Camino, just like my 75 El Camino from the back. Well, there's a couple things that drive me crazy in my life, and square headlights are one of them. So I've gotten this El Camino, and it's basically what I want, but not quite. So eventually I really hope to convert this front end to a 75. This is a 76 El Camino. This is the first year for the stacked headlights, and my 75, which I'll insert a picture of, had round headlights, and I just love that style so much more. It's so much more classic than these square headlights. This is when they were coming in. Things were going towards the 80s whenever they did the G bodies and all the square headlights and stuff, and I'm just not a fan. This is the last good El Camino. 75 was the last good El Camino, honestly. But I'm gonna make this one into a 75 one day. So this is just the start of this journey on this car. What I'm gonna do now is kind of a revival. It's kind of my first revival for this channel. So if you like this kind of content, let me know, and I will make more videos like this. I have plenty of cars here already to revive. I didn't do it in the guy's yard just because he had no tools. He couldn't get out there to help me, so on and so forth. So I did get a tow truck to drag all these cars home, and now I'm going to start the revival process. So let's take a tour of the El Camino. I have barely looked at this thing myself, so we'll see it first together. So here's pretty much how I got it. The tires were all still holding air. I give you the tour like Darek from ViceGripGarage because he's my idol and my inspiration for this. So we'll start at the back. Ain't no trunk to hide the goodies back here, but what we do got is some genuine tumbleweeds. The guy also gave me this tow bar hookup. Not sure quite what I'm going to use it for, but maybe one day I might. Here's the name plate for it. I'm not sure how or who did that, but I think the name's going to stick. I love this color green. Let's see. Looks like 03 was the last time it was tagged, so 20 years ago. So there was really nothing of note in the back of this thing. Now, these cars are really, really notorious for rotting out behind the seats and the floorboards and things like that. So I don't anticipate there being much rust here because this is Nevada and I don't see any visible rust on the outside of the car, but it's obviously got a paint job. Who knows what's hiding? But the real place to look is behind the seat. On the driver's seat, there's a cubby back there, and man, that thing will usually just be gone altogether. So let's take a look at the inside. Here's a tour of the inside here. These look to be custom door panels. I don't think I've ever seen them quite like that before. Got power windows, no armrest, a very odd looking door handle. Maybe somebody's custom upholstery. Not quite sure about that. It's got a really pretty much intact bench seat in it. Tell other than moving it onto the truck, nobody's sat in it in years. So this is genuine poof dirt here from Pahrump. The very, very, very fine dust that coats pretty much everything out here. So got that same style on the dash. Let's see. The old man told me I was having some kind of problems with the radio, so I pulled it out, broke the dash bezel, and so on. You got a new dash bezel for it, but evidently it's got a remote start installed on it that nobody has a remote for. Let's see what's in the glove box. Glove box contains nothing at all. Not even, oh, there's a cigarette lighter in there. Let's see. Super lift rear shock absorbers. Oh, and some custom tint at some point. Oh yeah, she's tinted. Alright, anything down here on the floor? Some spray adhesive, empty can. There's the busted dash bezel. Another little dash cover. Try and get that put back up there. Look at all the space behind the seats. Woo! And here's that cubby I was telling you about. Right there. So it's actually got rubber on the inside. Can't really see anything underneath of it, but the rubber's still there, which is shocking. Let's see. I think I just saw a hole through the floor though. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, she got some license plates in there. Uh-oh. Looks like it's going to be a wiring nightmare, judging by the obvious signs of nightmare. But that's okay. Wiring is kind of my specialty. So All looks pretty good in here. I'm overall pretty happy. Also, just a little bit scared of what is underneath of the carpet in this thing, because that's a big old hole in the back. I was really hoping to not find any rust on this thing. We'll see. I've replaced floor pans before. See if this one's worth it or not. Oh yeah. Definitely more nightmare to be seen in here. Somebody looks like they was trying to bypass the ignition on it. That's kind of scary down in there. But non-AC car. We got power steering. Got an alternator, doesn't look too old, but I mean, hell, this thing's parked 20 years ago, so could be. She's got long tube headers on it. That's a plus. She got some spark plug wires. Let's see, it.i distributor back there, looks stock. Power brakes. I don't know what the heck's going on with the header there. It's got a little strap on both sides. Might have been for a heat riser. Check the oil. Let's see what the oil looks like. Well, she got some. And it's almost full. Ooh, what's that? There's a little bit of separation to the oil here. Ooh, that's a lot of bad gas. Gas floating on top of the oil there. Okay. Well, gonna need to change the oil. Let's see, it's got any coolant. That's a negative. Anything back there on the Auto Magical Dipstick Aroni? Let's see here. Huh? Alright. Looks like it's a little bit over full, but it hasn't run in 20 years. Fluid looks good. Still red. Alright. Boy. The wiring is just scary on this thing. Really scary. Alright. So, being that it hasn't run in 20 years, I'm not going to trust the fuel in the tank. I have a boat tank that I'm going to try and use, and I just want to get this thing started just enough to get it over to the garage so that I can get the wiring sorted out where I can, you know, start it with the key and such, which is probably going to be an issue. So here we go. Okay, here's the plan. I brought my detonator switch so that I can crank the car from under the hood. I've got some fresh gas in a can down here. I have got a pump to pump it to the carburetor. I have also taken a look at the ignition wiring up under the dash, and it doesn't look like it's all that messed up. I think the guy just didn't really know electrical stuff, which is okay. Probably why I got such a smoking deal. So I'm gonna pull this other wiring out of here. I'm going to check and see if I am getting power to the coil back there. Amazingly, this car had an Optima in it, and I'm never really optimistic about Optimas. Usually when they're dead, sayonara. But I put this one on the charger, and it actually charged. So I'm going to be using the Optima battery that came with it. And I'm just going to test a couple of things and make sure that it's going to start. And then if it ain't going to start, I'm going to make it where it's going to start, because that's what I do. Okay, back to the list of things that really drive me crazy in this world. And it's the same things that were leading into the 80s when cars stopped being classic cars. Side post battery terminals. Meh. Why? And even worse than that, people who use adapters for side post battery terminals and then put a top post battery in it. What the hell, people? So I'm gonna do, the wrong thing, and I'm gonna pack up this stupid side post adapter, chop all the plastic off, hopefully without losing a finger. I'm gonna put my own stupid adapter on here. A little bit less rubber. Okay, unknown car, who knows how long it's been since it's been driven. Go ahead and give her the old smoke test. Something's clicking in there. Yeah. Good thing we didn't get to cranking on this thing. It was in drive. And the key was on. Okay. So we had some action with the key. That's good. That means it at least turns power on to the car. So come back out here. Pardon my hobble. All right. Go ahead and no clicking or sparking this time. I'm gonna go ahead and secure that on there improperly. Sure the positive's on there improperly. All right, cool. No fire so far. I don't want to pump any of this unknown fuel into this carburetor. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the fuel line off before I start trying to crank on it. Carburetor seems okay. Linkage seems to function. Get that off of there. Point it away from the carburetor. So if it does squirt out, it's going to squirt onto the ground. Save that hose clamp. I'm going to need that. Okay. All right, well, this guy's already got this wiring hooked up to the starter. Let's see if he'll crank over. Calling that a negative on that. Hopefully the engine ain't stuck. Got a clutch fan on it. I can't turn it that way. That's no good. cleaned up the terminals a little bit, tightened down the ground, crossing my fingers. Ah, this is no good. Okay, well, that's not great. Guess I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. See if I can get this thing to turn over by hand a little bit first. All right, so I got the 5/8 socket. I got the breaker bar here on the motor, on the crank bolt. We'll go ahead and try and give it a little turn. Well, that's weird. Okay, so the engine's not stuck. That's a great piece of news there. It actually turns over really, really easily. So that's good. Now I guess I might need to get a starter. Just for reasons to grin, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the grounds on the engine. Okay, so the main battery cable was here on the alternator bracket, and that's a pretty common place that people put them. But man, there's so much ground interference there. I could see this being the problem. It may start after this, I don't know. I'm gonna relocate the ground somewhere else. Maybe that header bolt right there. Put this back together. It's good to have your alternator grounded, you know, but you gotta have your engine block grounded in order for the starter to really work. Okay, I don't normally do this, but I was like, just for the hell of it, I'm just gonna see what kind of ground I'm getting, you know, see how good the grounding is. Either the grounding is not very good, or this cable ain't no good. I'm not getting much power through there. Let me check and see how many volts this battery got. It's fully charged yesterday. .12.7, I got plenty of power here. How's the ground? Ground is good. All right, well, I'm gonna replace that cable. Okay, so I found another battery cable. Went ahead and replaced the positive down there. Get this junk out of the way. Trash out of here. Okay. All right, one more time. Here we go. Oh, it's alive! Well, it's not alive yet, but it has a heartbeat. Okay, since it's cranking now, I'm gonna turn it over a little bit, watch things. I'm gonna watch the fuel hose there and see if it pumps fuel from the tank. I'm gonna make sure that nothing explodes or leaks or does anything crazy. So we'll give it about 10 seconds worth of cranking. Nice. I don't see anything crazy. I don't hear any crazy knocks or anything like that. So that's all good. All right. All right. Now before I go throwing fuel at it, I'm gonna pull off the spark plug wire here. insert it here. My spark plug tester. Put that back on. Just so that it's grounded. You don't have to put it back on the plug. It just needs to be grounded. All right, that's that. I'm gonna go turn on the key. Y'all tell me if anything starts squirting out up here. All right, key on. All right. Just pay attention right down here. See if we get any spark. That's a negative on the sparkles. All right. Let's see what we're missing here. These good old GM it.i's, I mean, there's not much to them. Try not to do that. All right. Probe on. Wire is there. I got nothing coming to the distributor. No power to the distributor. Okay. Deal with that. Okay, so we found a wire that was supposed to be on the starter that was not. So got that hooked up. And when I touched it, it sounded like it turned stuff on inside, so I'm thinking that maybe that was the power to the fuse box inside. So now, let's see if we've got spark. Let's see, here it is. I don't know if you can see that. And we got sparkles! Whoop, whoop. Now I'm going to use my little external fuel pump with this here Milwaukee battery to go ahead and put some fuel in the carburetor. That there. It's tricky to do with one hand. Oh, hey, you gotta put the hose in the gas can for that thing to work. Hose in the gas can. All right, now let's try this again. Come on there. I usually have a better setup for this, but haven't worked in a while. Don't know where it's at. Come on, girl. You're almost there. Get this suction going. I like this clear hose. There we go. Getting fuel up here. All the way to the carburetor. Hopefully it doesn't explode over. Sorry for the finger there, guys. Alright. Looks like the floats work. Because the pressure got high for the pump there, so. Alright, now it looks like it's leaking or anything. Give her a couple of pumps with the old accelerator pump. See any fuel in there? I can't see shit. Alright. Okay, we got crank. We got spark. We got some fuel in there. I don't know if it's going to be distributed, but let's see if she's going to turn over. Ready, set, go. Oh, that was too good. After 20, uh-oh, not good, not good. Oh, God. Well, the old fuel pump works. Okay. Well, that's good news. And it's good that I did all that preparation, because that fuel smells terrible. Okay, so the beast lives. I mean, from there it's just getting her patched up enough that I can drive it across the driveway for now. All right. Cool. Well, we'll see if there's going to be any more video here on this. I don't know. I need to get a video out this week. I really wanted you to see my new project. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Tell your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 followers this year, 1,000 subscribers. So maybe I can make some money off of this joint. I love making videos for you guys. I love teaching things. So, yeah, stay tuned. See what happens next.
Stop it, stop looking at me.